Okay, welcome everyone. This is Mach Super. My name's Christian Lewis. This is going to be my channel where I pretty much explore making all of the things that I've always wanted to make as a machinist, a CNC machinist. I've been doing it for like 10 years now. A lot of it as a hobbyist. I did work full-time as a machinist at a V8 Supercars racing team for about 10 months. That job didn't quite work out thanks to COVID. And now I've moved up to Brisbane. So I've got my car, my S13 Silvia. I restored that myself. I've owned it like 3 years now. I love it and I want to do more stuff to it. So it needs wheels, it needs an exhaust, it needs a bunch of other stuff. I'll show you around that car in a minute too. And I'll show you also just the shop. I've got a bunch of mess here, a machine sitting right here. Not much is set up yet, but this is just an introduction so you can see what I've got. I'll tell you what I'm going to do on this channel and hopefully you like it. So this is my S13 Silvia. It's a 1992 model. I bought it about 3 years ago with a blown up NA engine and an automatic transmission. I converted it to manual and I rebuilt that engine at the same time, but unfortunately that engine blew up a few months later when the radiator also blew up. In response to that, I bought an S13 SR20 DET VCT engine with a GT2871R turbo. I rebuilt that engine at the same time because it had some problems, and not long after I put that whole package in the car, that turbo blew up. So for the past 2 years, I've been running a T25 turbo, which is not great, but it is pretty fast off the line, so it's fun racing people, and it goes choo-choo. So I like it. Ooh.
Chris mates S13, yeah, it's I've started it a couple of times. It goes pretty fucking quick actually. Just give them a like and one sub, just one, and you'll be fucking laughing.
I am going to rebuild that GT2871R and I'll be installing that along with an oval exhaust, and that will be a series on the channel, so you can look forward to that. That should be pretty cool. It also has a worn out viscous LSD so it doesn't drift too well. A GK Tech smaller pulley, baffled sump, rocker arm stays, and an MLS head gasket. I had to do a lot of welding to the body as well, on the driver's door sill, under the driver's seat, on the roof, and on the boot. I also resprayed the bodywork and the engine bay, and it is all good from far, but far from good, really. I want the car to be a little bit classy on the inside too, so I've suede wrapped the dash. I did that myself with my own sewing skills. I've got a brand new black carpet, a Subaru Impreza driver's seat, which I had to cut with an angle grinder to get it in there, and sound deadening on the floor and boot. Another fun fact about the car is that I actually drove it from Melbourne to Brisbane, which is like something like 2,000 kilometers. It took me 4 days. I visited different cities and it was actually in the middle of a bunch of really bad flooding rains. So it was raining literally the entire time that I was driving. Every city I stopped at, every city that I ate at, every city that I left, it was raining. But it was still really fun, and my boot was full of water when I got up here. I also had no insurance, no roadside assist, and no spare tire. Fortunately, the car actually worked mint the whole time. There was no problems. And this is the shop. So you can see there's a lot of mess right now. Nothing's really set up. This is kind of set up, my storage cabinet here. And my inspection table. But this is the machine. So this is a manual machine, sorry. This is a manual machine that I bought pretty much exclusively to make a 5-axis router about 6 years ago, and I haven't really used it a lot since. So that's sort of sitting there waiting to be set up right now. I kept the rotary axes from that 5-axis router that I just mentioned, and that's going to be converted into a trunnion for this machine. So I'll have a cool homemade hobby grade 5-axis CNC router, which I should be able to make some pretty cool stuff for the router and whatever else. I want to make some other machines as well. Like I might want to make a lathe too, a CNC lathe, maybe even a 5-axis mill turn. That's kind of a dream project of mine. So if you think that sounds interesting, then obviously stick around. Beyond that, yeah, it's kind of a mess. So not a lot to see. I won't bore you with it for much longer than that. And I will be making a full video on that 5-axis router next time. I'll go into quite a bit of detail, so if you want to learn more about that, then stick around. So as you can see, there's not actually that much going on at this point, so there's not a lot I can show you. I've just got stuff around the shop. I'm working on getting the enclosure for the machine set up right now, working on welding it up with my brother. To start with, there'll be mostly machine stuff, machine content, you know, setting up the shop, getting the machine set up. The car content will come a bit later. I wish I could get to it sooner, but you know, I need a machine to be able to machine parts. I've got a lot of projects in mind though. Like I want to make an anti-backlash 2-speed gearbox, which will be going into a CNC lathe project that I have in mind. It's all thinking far down the line, but that's what this channel's all about, to dream big, really, about things that I always want to make, but no one wants to pay for. I also want to make a ride height adjustment, an electronic ride height adjustment for the Silvia, because Brisbane roads are pretty terrible. So getting there, working on it. Stick around if you like drifting, if you like Silvias, if you like machining, if you like computers, all that kind of stuff. It should be pretty fun.